Hello Supreme Commanders, friends, and those on YouTube who've randomly gone and clicked. We've got ourselves a long overdue Setons epic here on the channel. Just put a little bit of music on while we get through these initial stages. The reason why there hasn't been any content for ages is because my computer broke. As simple as that. The power pack fried, the motherboard went with it, and I lost my processor. It took me a little time to scrape the money together to replace all of that, and I thought, well, do I really want to replace equipment that I bought 2, maybe even 3 years ago? The answer was no, not really. So yeah, I took the plunge, saved a little bit longer, and only went and got the Ryzen 9950 X3D. I will be making a video on that at some point because Supreme Commander absolutely loves it, and you may be surprised to find that that particular processor, if you don't know about it, has, not only does it have multiple cores, but some cores are actually quicker than others. And get this, the slower cores, which have the additional cache, actually run Supreme Commander quicker than the faster cores. So I'll be making a video about that at some point. But for now, we've got ourselves the Setons Epic 1895 average rating. Team 1 up here, featuring VIP as the strongest player. Across the board rating 7,553 points at the time of the game, and Team 2 on the lower west side 7,608 points. So if you were counting, that means these guys down here have an extra 55 points across the board, which works out roughly a 14 points per player deficit for these guys up here. Okay, so that's the, for those new here, the true skill rating system, which for these guys is based upon thousands and thousands and thousands of games. Speaking of which, while I was away, I did have the old laptop to monitor 1 or 2 games. I like to keep a lookout for a decent replay, just make a note of it. I did find 2 or 3, so this is one of those. I missed the 25th millionth game to have taken place on FAF. Of course, that will be old news to most of you guys, but that's insane. We're now into the 25.1 and something as I record this today, so I'm sure most of those will just be people randomly messing around with build orders, but of course a lot of those will have been a lot of fun and a lot of desyncs. Let's be real about that. Thankfully, we do not expect any desyncs today, so without any further ado then, you've already made 1 minute last, what is it, 3? Yes, the old technique from the British. Let's get on with full speed and we'll start introducing our players. I might just minus it by 1 because usually the introduction's right. So let's make a start. In the forward slot for Team 1 is Winter in purple. 1600 there going UEF. Making his way towards the mid as standard. If we go to his north, we've got BrainDeadCommand in orange, who's also making his way to the mid per standard meta. He's UEF 2200. I did say VIP was the highest rated player. Maybe he is, I don't know, because we've got the rounded off scores here. But either way, we've got 2 very high rated players. In fact, there's nobody low rated on this game, because it is, you know, 1895 as we says average rating. Anyway, in the rear wick here is VIP. He's on air slot. I have to say, VIP is probably one of the best air players I have ever seen on this map. Although from time to time he does get beaten. We'll have to see if today is one of those days or not. He's going UF as well, Sky Blue. To round things off, on behalf of Team 1, we've got Mizer. He's a 1500. Now he's going to be the lowest rated today, and of course that's still well above average. He's going Lilac. So somehow someone's got to offset the 2200s, right? He's going Aeon and First Air. So we'll have to keep things slow to keep track. We've got 2 raiding labs here from Karateka, who we'll introduce next. He's the first player we'll say hello to on Team 2. Got to remember which way around the teams are on this. Karateka there, also UEF. Burgundy Red, lots of UEF today. Sound, just turn the game sounds up a bit until the shooting starts. Had 1 or 2 comments about the mic last time. Yes, I know. Issues I'm just not going to talk about because I don't want to whinge too much today. On the beach slot for Team 2, we've got Zum, 1800. He's going Seraphim. Also standard meta. Looks like he went first line, second air, sending Scout and Interceptor out. Already has a couple of, one Interceptor there, and actually forces Mizer's transport to drop, and Mizer's going to lose that first transport. He had 4 engineers, did well to drop it off, so there was no way to defend. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to pause because there's far too much. Sorry about this, guys, but I cannot just not introduce people. That would be shit. All right, in rear with gear for team number 2 is Deli, also a 2200. So I've actually got 3 of these guys featuring today. He's in green. If there's anybody that can, say anybody, I have to say VIP doesn't win air every time. It's just most of the time. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Last but not least, however, for team 2 is Sorry No Air. Preemptively taking the sting out of when he's there, why you ain't got none, in marker pen yellow or marker pen green. I guess a bit of both, right? Garish colour in any case. He's gone Cybran. I believe our only Cybran in the game today. Yes, indeed. So 1900 looks like first air, second land. And he's about to get his drop. So actually there is so much going on the screen. We haven't even got to 3.5 minutes yet. Let's unpause. So we'll keep an eye on that transport because we have a bomber inbound. We've got a scout overhead. We've got these raiding mech over here causing havoc with Winter's early builds. Bombs away. Interesting technique there from Sorry No Air. Separating his 3 engineers off. Does not start work on a factory, but instead reclaims trees. There must have been a slight eco issue because that is not standard operating procedure. 2 of the 3 engineers are down. The bomber's coming in again. Sorry No Air is dancing for days. Gets a partial damage there on his last remaining engineer. Manages to keep it alive. Has 1 interceptor working on that bomber. The bomber is still half health. And that's going to kill it. Beautiful pickup there from BrainDeadCommand. Lovely read. And with it, Sorry No Air is going to have to think again. Quick look on the other side. The island there remaining unclaimed. This light assault bot still causing havoc. 1 hit point remains. VIP paying attention there. Manages to pick off the lab with just 24 hit points remaining on the engineer. And with that, is going to keep what would have been quite a vulnerable area alive, not to mention destroyed tree clumps. We'll keep an eye on that side island using the minimap. For now, let's focus in on the middle. Quick look at the mass, or what's little is left of it. Most of the clumps have been reclaimed, or at least most of the valuable ones. Certainly the Salem wrecks are gone. Mass remaining slightly favouring T1. Again, it is one of those maps that is not 100% perfectly balanced due to the positioning of the Salem wrecks, clearly favouring the beach guy from Team 1. I dare say there may be 1 or 2 wrecks a little closer to Team 1's base as well, but that said, the Hydra was always a little further away versus Team 2. Gotta be careful here. Winter below 3,000. Pushing quite far there. The forward player from Team 1, Team North. Karateka, meanwhile, sitting quite comfortably. Just over half health. Down to about half health now. Going after the tanks. I think we can afford to reduce the volume now just a tad. And for once, we're going to do without the music. You may ask, why I like the music? I just haven't got around to setting it up yet. That's all it is. At some point, we will reactivate that. Winter decides not to hang around too long in the water at 3,000 hit points. You know, it can all be over pretty quick if the other team decides to rush a couple of torpedo bombers. BrainDeadCommand completely shutting down the airspace over Sorry No Air. Still nobody reclaiming, or has claimed, should I say, the side island there. I'm surprised BrainDead hasn't exploited the air superiority he has to try and sneak one in. Maybe doesn't think it's worth his time. And in fact, the South Island, what is this? I don't think I've ever seen a pro game. And what is this? Oh, BrainDeadCommand almost going down there. Karateka surrounding him temporarily. Karateka did actually have enough health to survive that. Winter popping out once more. Taking his time to pick off a few trickled in units. It's actually not too far away from his first ranking vet if he feels brave enough to try and pursue that. Of course, there's always a risk here he gets sealed off or that an enemy sub sneaks in. Looks like finally somebody's going to bag themselves the first side island. That's going to be Zum. One thing I've noticed in this game is depending on screen resolution. Why that should make a difference, I've no idea. But if you zoom in and zoom out with a higher resolution, the sound changes differently than if you've got lower resolution or a weird sort of a setup. My laptop has a sort of a weird resolution, and I zoom out there and it like only reduces the volume by half. Whereas here I zoom out and it's like I don't hear anything. Oh, look at this! Sorry No Air says, fine, if I've got no air, I'll do it the old-fashioned nub way and just walk 2 engineers over, little cliff build, better late than never. So unless BrainDeadCommand can get these... oh yeah, we can draw now, can't we? Thankfully nobody's drawn a massive phallus yet on this one, because that's typically the way these... oh look, we can draw! Right. Time to draw a massive cock and balls, because why not? You see that a lot. It's like the higher the rating, the skill, the more people like to draw silly images. And I swear there's some sort of deeper psychology to that. And no, it's not because they're all dirty. I'm sure it's some sort of, look at me. I can stack up 3 orders of engineers, shift-click, and then Shift-G all of that, bomb your base, perform micro, and on top of that, draw a massive cock over your base. And yeah, something about it. Speaking of something, Karateka wins the middle, decides to push out. Winter now has himself the gun though. He's got 19 kills. Now 20, oh no, still 19. There's 20 and his first rank of vet. Karateka's got the gun as well though, so this isn't an open and shut case. Karateka though, unable to continue the push because Winter's just going to be able to mop up any reinforcements that come through whatsoever, which is a very nice move from Winter's point of view there. He does have quite a few units, but he's got to be careful. He can't just throw them in. Yes, there is some Tech 2 in that mix. But Tech 2, when you've got a commander with gun, is an overcharge away from being Tech 0. Zum actually taking there the side island. So that means Team 2 taking both of the islands. Taking a look in the middle. 10:52, and Karateka in a spot of bother here. He's got a commander with a gun behind him. He's got Tech 2 shielded up in front. It is kind of clumped together. He needs an overcharge, and he needs an overcharge now. He gets it. He gets a crucial Vanker Vet. That was so close, but dang, it was still too close. And there he goes, Karateka. I thought for a moment he was going to make it there. 11:15, the first player is down and out. Karateka from Team 2 there. The first player gone. 4 versus 3 favouring Team 1, and Deli temporarily taking control. He knows what time it is, hands it off to the beach player as per standard, I dare say. Zum, who also having the side island. I think, although I could be wrong, but I think if beach player takes the side island, that by itself pretty much negates the advantage that rock player has. I'm not about to count all the mix right now, but it's pretty close. But he's now got the middle as well, so I suspect that's going to influence Winter's decision on which side of the pond he wishes to be on. But I fail to see how Mizer at 1500 is going to be able to take on an 1800 who's sat on 2 bases by his lonesome. That said, couple of subs tickling away at a frigate unescorted wouldn't be a bad way of going about it. Meanwhile, in the northern pond, BrainDeadCommand has the numbers. There are plenty of subs in this mix. He's going after unescorted frigates. Sorry No Air seems to be entirely Tech 1. 0 subs. He is working on a Tech 2 upgrade. But BrainDeadCommand is going to be able to roam around with impunity right now with these subs. And not a lot Sorry No Air can do about it. We do have ourselves a drop though. 13 minutes. We'll have to keep an eye on this one. What has we here? Tech 2 mix going on Tech 3. If he's going to be able to pick that off, very quick response there from both players. A point defense goes down from BrainDead. Sorry No Air backs off. I'll tell you what, we've got Tech 2 mechs. They're a good enough target. If he'd have gotten that Tech 3 just before it went on, it would have been juicy. We've got a response here from BrainDead. That's going to shut that down. Does he get it? Yes, he does. He gets 1 Tech 2 mechs. I think it just started upgrade there from BrainDeadCommand. I don't think BrainDead will be too upset about that. We do have another drop, meanwhile, over here from Sorry No Air. That's going to get some manual reclaim. Winter has Tech 2 engineers to deal with that. Does take down a mechs as well. I believe that was Tech 2 also. We'll take another look. High action all over here. Zum, to not too much surprise, is on the brink of shutting Mizer down, it would seem. Mizer does have himself a solitary destroyer, but there's just so much Tech 1 here. He's going to have to play a little smarter than that with his formation. He's got a bunch of Tech 1 there that were out of position, not in the fight, ensuring the Exodus destroyer was completely surrounded. There goes the destroyer with 7 kills. I'm not sure he could have kept the destroyer, but he would have gotten a couple more had he have gotten that spam stuck in a little sooner. Sorry No Air, we've just enough units there, including the important destroyer to deal with some of these subs. That's going to show away BrainDeadCommand and his spam. Take a little look down here as we roll into the 15th minute. Little look at scores overall. Team 2, no surprises, ahead on mass per tick. 610 versus 549 as I saw it. Team 1 slightly ahead on score, 206 versus 202. That will of course be somewhat influenced by the early takedown of Karateka. But scores very tight, and actually Team 2 look like they may be about to surpass overall scores. Sorry No Air stabilizing the position, although this may upset matters. BrainDeadCommand manages to get a drop in just the regular artillery, but that's all it takes. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close, but I don't think he's going to make it. Very nice quick response there from Sorry Nowhere keeps the mechs, loses the storage, but otherwise all is well. In the mid, we've got Winter raiding with a few T1 bombers. There goes down the ping from Zum, telling his air player, wake the fuck up! I'm getting bombed! Where's my air? I feel the frustration, losing their engineers unnecessarily, and of course inflicting damage versus the mechs. And unlike those Sirens, it doesn't automatically heal. What advantage that was. And the early advantage to Zum with his side island looks like it's about to be lost. He actually didn't invest very much in this. Look, we're still operating on T1 mechs. He did put down factory, couple of point defense to try and dissuade sort of any initial early aggressive drops. Well, it looks like a single destroyer is going to be able to deal with that, providing it's not harassed. And Mizer, the 1500, has reasserted his naval dominance. He's at the halfway mark, despite being against two bases. And Winter was indeed influenced with unfolding events, as you'd expect. 1600, not entirely oblivious to what's going on. Already Tech 2. That's going to put UEF together with Aeon. Lethal combination, especially if you can get some of those Bulwark shield bolts up front. Looks like Mizer's going to tidy up the rest there with some gunships. On that side island. Very nice. There's a solitary static air defense there. Aeon gunships especially well suited to deal with those sorts of structures. Quick look at mass. Mize a little slow on getting reclaim and stuck back in. Looks like he's prioritizing the front, but still wouldn't hurt to let an engineer or two wander this way on reclaim duty, perhaps all in good time. We do have a few scouts from Team 1 in the middle of Team 2's base. Always worth picking them up and letting them have a gander. If times may, have a propaganda at the propaganda. Meanwhile, there'll be some people saying, well, why did he just repeat the word propaganda twice? And then there'll be them from England that go, I know what he fucking meant. Yeah, probably one or two others as well, let's be fair. We do have our weird sayings, but I'm sure so does everybody else. Including my German friends, der hat nicht alle Tasse im Schrank. Which means he hasn't got all the cups in the cupboard, which doesn't really mean anything to us. It's a bit like he's a sandwich short of a picnic. Doesn't mean much to them either, but same thing. Speaking of someone who's maybe a sub short of a flotilla over here, BrainDeadCommand losing isolated frigates. We've actually got Tech 2 subs there from Sorry Nowhere, Barracudas no less. More damage, more stealth, just generally more nasty all around. Sorry Nowhere just going to probe the defenses, sends a frigate in. And frigate dies. BrainDeadCommand clumping his entire flotilla up as one now. Sorry Nowhere with a more dispersed kind of a setup with reserves. In south, things relatively static. And just crossing the 20-minute mark. Actually, T1's still ahead despite my earlier predictions. Probably in no small part thanks to the capture of this island from Team 1. 489 versus 480. So things pretty close. In fact, both teams pretty much ticking up to 1k. That 1,000, I've never seen that before. It's always been a k. But basically, the two teams in sync right now on live income rates. Tell you what, it does feel weird without the music. It really does. Tell you what, I'll just put a little bit. Just a little bit. Not enough to be annoying, just a little bit. There we go. Alright, interesting exploration here with Sorry No Air. Sends in a single destroyer into a massive flotilla. That ain't gonna survive. Gets chased down. Good pickup from BrainDeadCommand on the ball. Got a sonar system there. That's gonna get taken down. Maybe a little less. This is just one of those freebie stream beats tracks. I will set up the other one. I did pay for it, by the way. Thank you to everybody who, you know, helps with that. Is appreciated. So we do have another year's worth of music once I get that drive in the right place. I was able to keep the drive, the graphics card and all that good stuff. So, you know, thankfully a lot of the really expensive, I say a lot, the graphics card, let's face it, right, that's where it really costs at the moment. Even mine from 2.5 years ago, I wouldn't like to try buying that again either. Nice use of the cruisers here, picking off some engineers from Winter that are just lazily trying to get reclaim in. And Sorry No Air providing some pressure against BrainDeadCommand on the periphery with these stealth subs. It's a fantastic technique, especially if you can find a few enemies on the unawares. And again, just the odd frigate trickling in, just enough to be annoying, just enough to pull some of BrainDeadCommander's flotilla out of position. Meanwhile, in Southern Pond, thank goodness somebody somewhere is doing something. Zum is on the attack. And interestingly, he's got his Seraphim destroyers playing sub. Then they all surface at the same time. Take out a destroyer nicely, I suspect. Either he was trying to sneak him in or possibly evade a T3 unit. There isn't one, though. Although plenty of Aeon. And I'll tell you what, this many subs with those beam weapons just surrounding enemy ships, taking them down so quickly. Frigates, they're just going to melt. Tech 1 subs, they're going to melt. Very nice pickup there from Zum. We have Bulwark Shield here. We've got some Aeon destroyers. I'll tell you what, Team 1's going to have to be careful here. They're going to have to play cohesive or not at all. Things still even. I actually think numbers slightly favouring Team 1 at the beginning of that engage, but with a beautiful pickup there from Zum with some units that slightly overextended. Now it's looking more 50-50. Team 1 certainly on the ball at this stage. It's maybe worth the players here consolidating forces. Oh, look at this VIP with a whole bunch of torpedo bombers. Well, this is going to wipe out any potential advantage. We've got 21 on the field. Looks like the initial pass there, taking out 2, possibly 3 units. One of them may have been taken out from those missiles from the cruiser, unclear. But things suddenly taking a turn for the worse for Team 2 in Northern Pond. BrainDeadCommand well beyond the 50-way mark. And looking very dangerous. What do we have in the mix? Still T2, but we do have our first battle cruiser following up in reserve. Deli splitting off a few ASF to go after some torpedo bombers as well as Tech 1, and VIP is going to pick those off. I love this. beautiful move there from Deli. He brings his ASF back. VIP was in pursuit with superior numbers, and Deli feints an attack this way, forcing VIP to abort the pursuit and re-centralize his main air force. That was absolutely beautiful play there from Deli. Meanwhile, Northern Pond, at 26. Braindead Commander looking very dangerous. We do have a couple of battleships rolled out, though, from Sorry No Air. And an awful lot of T1 frigates. T1 frigate is one of those weird units that remains viable throughout the game. No matter what stage you're at. They actually carry quite a lot of hit points relative to their overall cost. And with a high rate of fire despite being low damage, very effective. We've got a huge wave of torpedo bombers here. They're going straight for the T3 support factory, and it's a one-hit wonder. The support factory is down. We've got a T2 factory here, support factory from Sorry No Air. Who really is going to be sorry that there's no air? That's going to go down in one pass. Deli does dispatch 3 ASF, probably realizing VIP's got a far larger air force than he has and doesn't want to risk losing it all. Sorry No Air forced into producing T1 static AA on the side island. Deli loses the ASF. More torpedo bombers here from VIP. This is a crucial stage of the game. I'm sorry to the players involved in Team 2. We're going to have to... I say going to have to. Well, we are. Still 5 of the torpedo bombers remain. There's so many frigates there with their collective AA, despite it tickling with the destroyers. Those do not get another pass. Yeah, so quite a few losses there from Sorry No Air's point of view, especially with regards to his build capacity. But does survive. Got some static, it would seem, T2 artillery there from Zum. That's going to at least cause Braindead Commander to think twice before parking his navy too close to that central region, but unfortunately is very much under threat. Some, however, making up for that threat by pushing out. We've got battle cruisers just outside of effective range, while T2 units are forward, taking the brunt of the attack there from Zum. I'd like to see Winter get his battle cruisers on the line. I realise that's going to place them in range of the battleship, but you've either got to go in or not. You can't sort of, oh, well, we'll send some units in, some not. When your opponent is operating this cohesively. And as we go to the north, Braindead once again fancying another push. Here we see balls to the wall with the battle cruisers. Of course, should these battleships take a priority target versus the battle cruisers, they're not going to last long. Whether it's manual targeting or just using the target prioritization mode. And there it goes. This is interesting. We've got a very nice unit mix there from Braindead Commander. T1, T2, T3. On behalf of his opponent, though, Sorry No Air, seems to have been a lot heavier on the T3. T1 as well. Did have T2, but that was taken out. Seemingly far more urgent. So the half-hour mark, let's have a quick look. 175 actually now favouring Team 2. So our guys down here finally with the advantage. The attack there was repelled, and that's going to leave a nice bunch of reclaim there. Should Sorry No Air be able to get his engineers out? I see no reason why not. He's already on the case with a few. Big wave of torpedo bombers, meanwhile, here from VIP. What else we hear? 29 of them. And this is a big air fight. quick look on numbers. We've got 415 there from Deli. We've got 491 from VIP. VIP gets behind Deli on that initial engage. That's going to really have cost Deli. Of course, VIP also with a few torpedo bombers, but that, oh my goodness, that is 415 ASF that just evaporated. What is VIP left with? 471. That is an insane exchange rate for about 10 or so % advantage on the initial engage. He didn't even lose 10% in the battle. That is absolutely insane. And yeah, that shows how much air player needs to be on the ball. That is one of the most brutal exchanges I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen an exchange quite so even turn out quite so unevenly based on one quick exchange that, let's face it, lasted about 5 seconds. Unbelievable. Folded quicker than the EU at a migration summit. Meanwhile, on the southern pond, Zum here walking up with his T2 destroyers. He's got them in submerged mode, so the enemy T3 units can't be used to devastating effect, and I wonder if he's going to surface them in here or keep them down below. Winter on full torpedo launcher priority mode with his engineers, got no choice. He's ground firing some of the battleships, or at least Mizer's figured out to do that. And he does now surface the destroyers, as we suspected. And again, it just depends if he's using target prioritization or not. Build capacity would be a good target, followed by production facilities. Very nice, but you can see how quickly those destroyers are evaporating. We've got a large contingent here of torpedo boats from Winter. Torpedo boats, fantastic unit. Very underutilized, in my opinion. Because, well, we don't see big projectiles flying through the air. No, because it's torpedoes going through the water. Of course, in real life, they were deadly. Very fast, small little boats. You know, and if you get, you know, real life, right, couple of good torpedo hits, they can sink a battleship, potentially. And, of course, because they're so cheap, you only need a few of them to survive. Mechanics a little different in this game. But overall, the concept of speed remains. Meanwhile, up north, I still prefer BrainDeadCommand's formation here. He's got support factories, sending engineers in for the reclaim. Things a little more higgledy-piggledy from Sorry No Air's point of view. Although, again, with just enough pressure, I like this tactic here. Of course, he knows he's not going to be able to keep them, but it keeps at least some of the fire from this huge contingent directed internally rather than prosecuting outwards. The problem is, as soon as he loses those ships which he now has, that fire is going to return. And once again, VIP assisting in the North Pond desperately to try and shut Sorry No Air down, and this time with a bunch of broadswords. These are going to be far more effective than torpedo bombers. He's got 18 of them on station. Just look how quickly they're tearing through these T2 units. Doesn't even last a second. T1, not even that. This is so painful. Sorry No Air, who's already struggling. Down goes a battleship. Now going after construction capacity. That right there is target prioritization from VIP. No way is he individually targeting those engineers. It's a hugely important control to master if you're looking to improve your faffing abilities. We do like to faff about over here. And just more and more broadswords entering this furball at all time. We've got pressure from BrainDeadCommander coming in from the east, and Sorry No Air is up the creek without a paddle. Deli realizing, yeah, I'm sorry, mate, I really ballsed the air up, so I'll give you some SAM site coverage. And somehow, some way, VIP has been dissuaded from pursuing that attack with the broadswords. I'm not entirely sure what was behind that decision. Maybe he felt he couldn't defeat the anti-air in the area? I'm not entirely sure. Quick look in the southern ponds. Mizer actually with a couple of Atlantis now in the mix. Experimental units from the UEF. Pretty decent overall. Of course, if you forget about them and your opponent ground targets the sea, not always the best unit either, but like everything, depends how you use it. Always got to stay on the ball. There's no auto win button, at least not yet. Although I'm sure that one's in the post at some stage. The way that all this automation and AI and goodness knows what is going. I mean, on the one hand it's fascinating, on the other hand it's scary. Sorry No Air still remaining viable. He's got a battleship surrounded with frigates, and this is where frigate beats battleship. Insane rate of fire versus a ship that can, well, it doesn't always one-shot a frigate, but it can do. BrainDeadCommand are actually reclaiming some of those frigates. I tell you what, if those frigates can get in towards these bulwark shield boats, they can continue causing havoc. Looks like there's another battleship that may about be going down, tickled to death. It's got itself 12 kills. It's a 1 star. Yes, well done there to the frigates. Oh my goodness, look at this. VIP not going half measures. 148 torpedo bombers. 148. Right, quick sim speed check. I can go +4 with 5,000 units. That's what it's capable of during a stream. If anybody wants to check, it's minute 37:40. Was about when we did that test. So looks like those torpedo bombers being used to pressure at the minute. We've also got a bunch there on standby from Mizer as well. VIP. I don't believe this. Somehow Sorry No Air has managed to break out from his blockade. Granted, this is entirely just T1 frigates. There is actually a solitary cruiser in the mix with 20 kills. But huge credit where it's due. And something needs to happen somehow, because it looks to me that Team 1 are also starting to gain more and more momentum in Southern Pond as well. Although nobody's quite folded yet, we've got a nice cohesive front line, but this is never good. Battleships too close together. Basically, any shot that comes in here is a guaranteed hit. If not, is going to splash onto multiple targets. You need a little bit of spacing between such high-value targets. I'm sure some knows he's just, well, got a million other things on his plate. Unlike me, that only has one. Here we go again. VIP piling on the pressure. 90 torpedo bombers remains, so a good chunk of them actually been destroyed at somewhere before getting here. Nuke is out the door, however. Looks like Sorry No Air has done it. Okay, I don't got air. Have a nuke instead. Looks like that's heading over to the Mizer side island. This is team play and a half, right? I'll send the nuke over to the opponent's economic base, who isn't even my direct opposite number. That right there is well played. Team Y-wise. And that's going to connect. Lots of mass getting sent around. VIP. Why does Air Player need mass? That's why. VIP at 40 minutes. He's got a Maver on the way. It's just gone past the 50 way mark. Yes, so players. At first I thought it might be something to do with that nuke. Oh, I haven't got enough storage, but no. We've got a game ender under construction at 40 minutes. Meanwhile, Sorry No Air Despite being a 1900 against a 2200, despite having had relentless pressure from VIP, attack after attack from the air, not to mention the Navy, despite not having naval support from his own team, and little if any air support throughout, is still holding his own. Well, if that doesn't impress you, I don't know what will. Nice idea for me to ask you to leave a like. If you, well, if you like how Sorry No Air's playing, leave a like. How about that? Plus, if you think the video's half decent so far, maybe, perhaps. I still know 9 out of 10. You'll never leave one. My New Year's resolution. Never, ever, ever, ever leave a like ever again. Too much like hard work. Tell you what though, Zum holding his line, and it looks like may have an answer to these T2 subs from Mizer, the Aeon. Not stealth, make up for it by being a bit worse. Some says, well, I've got something even worse. I'll give you T3 subs. Incredibly effective until somebody ground targets them with battleships or flies in with a bunch of torpedo bombers. At least they can surface with reasonably good anti-air capability, but still not going to trade well, economically speaking, versus torpedo bombers. Quick look from what each team can see then. Not done that yet. That's Team 1's point of view. VIP, I beg your pardon, having a bit of a play with the Shift G command there. A big scouting run, as we knew, was unfolding there from Deli. And now we've got a few torpedo bombers out from Deli, showing VIP 2 can play at that game, going after this Tempest, 18 kills thus far. And VIP's built, I can only assume, that Maver. So that went from 50% at 40 minutes to 100% at 43. So that is a very quick Maver. We'll have to have a look on the other side if there's any shielding. Well, there is one shield, but I don't think that's going to last too much longer forward. This is going to be painful. At 43 minutes, one Maver completes, the other one is about 75, if not 80%. We're going to have to ignore, I think, the Navy for just a moment. I'm going to split the screen. We're going to follow the Maver. I assume he's going to go for the air grid unless there's been a read. Should have perhaps looked a little closer. We're just going to fold the scoreboard out the way. Keep an eye on this Maver. Keeping an eye on the minimap, of course. The shield buckles there. The first units going down. In come more rounds. Things not looking good for Deli right now. That air grid is about to pop. He needs another shield. He needs it now. Maybe one here, just to try and hold on to something. Preserve splash damage where possible using the shield, especially chain reactions. I'll tell you what, this Maver's awfully close. It's 7,800 out of 8,000 hit points. That means just about 20%, not even 20%, 2%, I beg your pardon. The mother sticker is online. This is pure sword fighting. Phallus versus Phallus. I don't want to steal all of Giles' quotes because he's the best at that. But, oh no! VIP's clocked it. The shield has collapsed. The Maver has fired its first shots from Deli. He manages to get a T3 shield online. Brilliant tactic here, using the shielded up transport, the Continental there from UEF to provide some shields. And I don't believe it. The Maver is already down. By hell, that didn't last 2 minutes. Of course, there are 2 or 3 shots in the air, but I'll tell you who else is in the air. A T3 support commander has just teleported in there. right next to the Maver. He gets the shields down. Unbelievable. Did you just see that? That round that came in that was like one of only 2 fired impacted in VIP's base. Now, I'm not sure if that was planned or not, but that was incredibly timed teamwork there. The support commander in just in time to buckle the shields. The splash damage when the support commander went down took out half the Maver, and then the round drops in right on target. Both teams are a Maver down. A Maver each and a Maver down as quick as that. Not every day of the week you're going to see that, but you see it here today on Tactical Takeover. Some of you saying, yeah, it's about bloody time. I know it is, and I can only apologise. I didn't want to make a post on the laptop and say, I'm sorry there's no content, but my computer died. And somebody saying, yeah, he just wants somebody to send him a new one. Would have been nice, but you know. You get plenty of grifters online today like never before, and it's sickening. At least I find it sickening. I'm sure you do too. I've got these 3 easy secrets that can make your whole life better. I will tell you them in just a minute, but first, you know the type. 20 minutes later, you're still waiting. Half an hour later, the video ends and you think, what the fuck? Someone watching this nodding understandingly. Oh yeah, he's seen one of them and all. Yes, I have. Was a couple of days ago now, though. It's not like it only just happened. Sort of those of you that were around in the 90s will remember those get-rich-quick scheme scams. It's just the latest rebranding of all of that. VIP using these torpedo bombers with very little to stop them. Although, I'll tell you what, Deli's Air Force recovering. He's got 454, similar numbers to before. VIP 529. So about a 15% advantage towards VIP right now. But still, depends on that first engage. I'm not sure how much damage the ASF from VIP... Well, damaged or no. Does he even have air repair? He's got a few, so it's possible that there was some damage that were repaired. Alright, 48 minutes. We've got yet another SAT wandering over from Mizer. I mean, they're very good at going after build capacity on naval stuff. Torpedo bombers from Mizer as well being trickled in. And I don't understand how Zum is holding, but by trickling units in like this will go in large part. We've got a sneaky sub here from Winter. 20 kills. And that's going to require either some sort of ground fire or some response from these T3 torpedoes. We've got more. We've got 4 of these experimental subs there from Winter. And come on, guys. How has Sorry No Air pulled this off? Well, okay, he had a bit extra eco due to that being rock. But there was so much pressure from VIP. How many guys would have folded when don't forget, BrainDeadCommand had at least even numbers on Navy. He had that beautiful combo. All that pressure from VIP. At least 3 waves of air attack. Don't forget there was like 100 torpedo bombers in that one. Goodness knows how many broadswords. And the earlier attack was slightly fewer, but still... What was it? It's like 20 or 30 torpedo bombers. Memory escapes me right now, but it was a lot. And VIP this time sending out far fewer numbers of torpedo bombers. Not so much as a FU, but more as a all hands on deck response. Just as well, Team 1 appear to be making headway on the southern pond. I mean, it's been said before, but then Zum held incredibly well. He's still got a few units back there, but I just get the impression Team 1 have got a lot more. They've got these missile ships at the back, the Aeon T3 missile ship. We've got Tempest. We've got these roving UEF subs. I mean, 3 of which are right at the front. I think one of them just went down. We've got some extra pressure on the flank there from Mizer. I mean, this is brilliant play. Brilliant play. You've always, you've got the... for new players, maybe you've got your front line, and then at the side you've got your flanks. And if you can put pressure on the side and roll up the enemy flank, you can defeat potentially a stronger force with an inferior one just because of the unit positioning. So it's... and even if you've got a stronger force, that's no reason not to use that technique, which is exactly what we see Mizer doing here. So, well played to Mizer and anybody else. Obviously, it's very efficient, done land unit-wise as well, but same principle in the Navy. And this right here is Sorry No Air rolling over Braindead Commander. Well, I never would have thought Braindead Commander would outlast Zum, but it's happened. You see it here. Looks like all eggs in one basket. Meanwhile, over here... potentially a dangerous idea, but I like it nonetheless. Although with Team 2 now comfortably in control of an ever-larging sphere of influence, it's going to become increasingly difficult to sneak things in. Speaking of sneaking things in, an incredible sneaky drop here. Tech 3 engineers dropping in on the side of Braindead Commander's base. Almost said side island there, but the side of his base. And of course, not much that Braindead can do. His base has been all but annihilated. He's got some mass that's in production, but what's going to go with that mass, who knows? Did I just hear a nuke out? Yes, I did, and it impacts right into the Navy production facilities, to be clear, of Winter's Navy, but I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. Team 1 have clearly won the southern pond. Zum still in existence in the pond, in name only. There's a lot of spam. There's a couple of static units left, a couple of SAMs. That is all. His main base beginning to receive heavy attack. Clearly somebody somewhere with mechs on the target prioritization. Look at the amount of SAMs that Deli has covered his side of the map with. He's got 109 SAMs to his name. That is somebody who realizes gracefully, I think, he's been outplayed on air and is still ensuring that his team get as much coverage of air protection as possible. VIP thought about it. Backs off. Oh, Deli. I mean, you've got a risk. You can't just stand around. Oh, VIP. He could have, woulda, shoulda. I guess he maybe didn't know how many cruisers might be in this area. The answer is not many. Is that a commander dying? Yes, it is. Could have been a Billy, but no. At 54 minutes, the first player from Team 1 to die does, making it 3 apiece. SATs, Torrent-class missile ships. I'll tell you what, that is a deadly weapon versus air grids. Now, was that a commander or was that a Billy? It's a Billy. Deli's only got himself a Billy and he's Tech 3, which means providing he's got the eco, he's going to be able to rebuild those quite quickly. He's on full health. VIP knows what time it is, and I assume... Oh, he hasn't actually got intel on him at the minute. Oh, he has now. He's just seen the Billy come out. He's marked it, and he's prioritized with his torpedo bombers. Deli says, not today. Pounces on those. And that is that. Where did that Billy go? I suspect into attack missile defense. We don't see any attacks. Mavor has since been rebuilt. I think it was, we saw the notification a little while ago, 70 some kills going after Deli's air grid. Done a pretty good damage, but Deli's also done a reasonable job at rebuilding. We've actually got a fat boy over here from some interesting place to build and keep it. But here goes another Billy. Well done again to the team for making the Billy missile obvious. Nice impact into Mizer's base. I suspect that won't be allowed to happen twice. Incredibly, Team 2 still have units inside despite this insane mix of coastal units. BrainDeadCommander with more engineers than anything. I'll tell you what, look at this. BrainDeadCommander, his entire base has been wiped out, right? If that were me, you know what would happen. The towel would get lobbed. Not with BrainDeadCommander, the 2200. No, fine, I'll go this way then. I can see that my team's about to win down here, and I'll set up shop by here. Besides, there's a little bit of reclaim in the pond as well. In fact, if we have a little look, what we got on the screen there, 171,000. Overall, 300,000 mass on the field. It's like the occasional Billy there continuing to impact. We've got a fat boy here from VIP. Shield gone down. And providing he keeps moving in an unpredictable way, he could keep it. But if he keeps going in a straight line like that, probably not. And there it goes. Send a Billy after it for good riddance. Nicely done, of course, if the fat boy had survived and carried on moving that VIP. That Billy would have connected with VIP, certainly as fat boy.
Strategic launch detected.
The nukes is out.
Strategic launch detected.
Strategic missile subs here of the Aeon variety. Team 1 distributing 3 nukes directly into Team 2's base. The first is going to connect into what's left of the air grid belonging to Deli. The second connects straight into power. Third is shot down, but the second connects. There was a lot of power and otherwise economic structures there. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Winter says nice. Of course, then somebody else types and it scrolls. Otherwise, that ring would have looked so fucking good, wouldn't it? Let's just face it. But nah, oh, Deli, 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 Deli. Whoa. I'm not sure VIP realised what time it was there, but Deli's Air Force evaporated not for the first time. He distributes more uranium-filled... Hang on, was that a Billy from the other way? 2 Billies joining up, compounding one another, leaving the place uninhabitable. Not every day that you see that. Well, it's been a good game, hasn't it? We're still inside the official mark of epicosity, although with just 30 seconds to go. That looks like it's a given with 3 players apiece. BrainDeadCommander now taking his commander out. Let's have a little look. What does VIP actually see? Does he have eyes? No, he doesn't on enemy commander. I assume same goes the other. Oh, they ain't got eyes full stop. Oh, a radar's just come back on. Is that the commander there? Yes, it is. Of course, no way for Team 2 to recognise that right there is a commander. I mean, that could just be 2 planes flying together, Tech 1 scout kind of speed. And I'm not sure they've got any aircraft to deal with it, even if they did know what it was. And that is a huge scouting run there from VIP. Did he pick up the commander? Well, there was the contact. I don't think it ID'd as such. Nice advice there to nuke here. And I think that's Braindead Commander with a Billy. Yes, it is. But lots of TAC missile defense. That goes nowhere. And we are now well beyond the hour mark. I realise this will be incredibly dull to some of you, but I'm going camping later today and I'm really looking forward to it. Into the North Yorkshire Dales. And for those of you who have never been outside of a town overnight, and I don't just mean, well, a village then, but if you've not been away from a house that's got electrical wiring in and Wi-Fi routers and phone signals and Bluetooth, and I'm telling you, even if you just go there for like a couple of hours, just find somewhere that's away from everything and just sit there for a couple of hours, your whole body feels completely differently straight away. It's not even like you have to wait. Like, you'll sit there and it feels like in your body that weird sort of slightly tingly but not quite, almost anxious but not quite, this constant sort of feel like you might want to do something but not. Like, it's hard to explain. I guess restless is the word I'm looking for. The word you're looking for is restless. Restlessness. It's gone. It's completely gone. Just try it if you haven't, and then... And I'm so stumped this time. Not interested. Get back on with the game. There's billies flying, there's nukes flying, and you're talking about sitting in the field. Nuke there, inbound into VIP space. Shot down 2 further nukes. Oh, this is interesting. Both of which are shot down. He's, of course, got the Maven. It's now got 246 kills. He's got a strategic missile launcher with lots of assistance. Where's his anti-nukes? He's got 3 in base. One's got 6. One's got 1. One's got 1. So, you know, that's 8. And, well, the team 2 have 8 nukes up their sleeve, plus that to make the 9th connect. I'm not sure, but that's what they need. Let's have a little look on how these sats are doing. 24 kills, 6 kills, 1 and 2 star.
Strategic launch detected.
Braindead Commander, 16 kills, got that Billy. We've got more nukes, more nukes, more nukes. This time from Team 1 into Team 2's Navy. Is Deli still in the area? I'm not about to... Oh, that is beautiful. That's going to connect. Oh. She's some sort of explosion there. Sorry for... Oh, look at Deli. He's flying around into all that nuclear inferno. VIP's moving in with ASF. Did he get the lock? I think he's got it. This could be it. And that is Deli. Game, set, and match at 1 hour, 3 minutes, 54 seconds. Nice. Braindead Commander says, good game. We finally penetrated Deli's base as well. Sorry no air. Sorry no air's base. But sorry no air realizes it's over. That leaves Zum in the drink there. We've got Braindead Commander personally pushing out there from Team 1. That may have been another nuke. Sorry for not being sure. And actually, Zum calls it, realizes there's no chance. And at 1 hour, 4 minutes, 33, the game is over in Team 1's favour. For those curious, that was the team that had the overall deficit of 55 points. So actually, the slightly weaker team winning it this time with 3 of the 4 players remaining. I do hope you enjoyed that. And until next time, wherever in the world you may be, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. From me here deep inside the UK, take care. Bye-bye. See ya.